Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the second day of the Super round in Super Rugby Pacific. That was a lot of Super, but this game should be as well because it's Hurricanes versus the Brumbies. Two sides that in a rare occurrence are both coming off a loss at this stage of the competition. The Hurricanes defeated in Super Point up against the Chiefs last week. The Brumbies losing to the Fijian drawer, the first side to lose to the drawer in over 3 years at their home location. So this is definitely a comeback game for both of these sides. They're both sitting relatively nicely, although after that bit of a burst upwards from the Crusaders in the last matchup, it means that the Brumbies under a bit more pressure to push towards that top three of the competition. We have got Kia ora, Hamish bro, from Matthew, and Hurricanes 35, Brumbies 14. So going with a bit of a one-sided game in favour of the Canes in that case. But looking through at the starting lineups, they are going to be as follows for the Hurricanes. I see that Xavier Numia is in the starting lineup, but it is actually Siale Lauakai, I believe, who is going to be in that number 1 jersey. In fact, there's a bit of confusion. There's two Xavier Numias in the lineup, but Asafa Moore, he is going to be off the bench and starting as well. There's been a bit of a typo there, I would think. In fact, I think the bench is wrong. Looking at this one, don't worry about the bench at the moment. Look at the starting lineup, because at the moment we're confusing ourselves. But a very strong lineup. We will get the official one in one moment, but they are just doing the Anzac Day remembrance before the matchup, so we've got a little bit of time before this game does kick off. We have got How Uses Fortnite NBA. I'm doing all right, other than the fact that most of these names seem like they are wrong, which is not ideal. But the teams for this matchup, ladies and gentlemen, they are going to be as follows. We've got them now. So in the starting lineup, it is Siale Lauakai as the number 1, Raymond Tuputupu at 2, and Tavera Mafaleo slotting in as the number 3. In the locking duo, it is Caleb Delaney alongside Warner Durns, Devon Flanders, Braden Yossi, and also Duplessis Karefi. He slots in as that number 7. Cam Roygard and Ruben Love as the 19 combination. Fineanganofo out on the left wing. Josh Morby out on the right. Callum Harkin slotting in at 15. And Geordie Barrett and Billy Proctor, they are there as the 2 centres. So other than the forward pack being completely wrong, it seems like the back line is correct. So we will quickly adjust that before the match gets underway so that it does make a little bit more sense. But looking through at the Brumbies starting lineup, it is James Slipper, Billy Pollard, and Alan Alatoa slotting in as the number 3. Nick Frost alongside Lachlan Shaw. He'll be there as the number 5. And then the loose forward trio, Rob Valentini, Rory Scott, and also Tuilima as the number 8. In terms of their back line, it is the captain, Ryan Lonergan, slotting in as that 9 option. The 10, they have gone with Declan Meredith. It's been a good combination for the Brumbies throughout this year. And then also in the back line, they've got Whiriwai in the midfield alongside Caden Pritchard. Then Corey Toole in the back 3 with Andy Muirhead and Tom Wright. That man was out for quite an extended period of time with injury. It is absolutely awesome to see him back here. We'll want to continue that little bit of momentum he was creating for last week. But I am just quickly going to change the names, ladies and gentlemen, so we're all sorted. Raymond Tuputupu, though, big opportunity for that man in the starting lineup. Normally does either make his way off the bench or even a few weeks ago wasn't actually anywhere in that department. But they are just singing the New Zealand national anthem as we speak. We've probably still got about 6 minutes or so until this match does get underway, so it gives me plenty of time to adjust that starting 4-pack, as Iwalker Leawiti is nowhere to be seen in this lineup, which is great news for Hurricanes fans, as normally that man is a walking, talking penalty. Unless we forget, says Wade. Peter Larkai has been cloned. He's not the only one, Paul Henry. We've got about 5 names out there that have been duplicated for this game, including the front row. They were all identical as well. But what we can do is if I get a little bit fancy, I grab that and I drag that over here. I might freeze for half a second, ladies and gents, just while we do the screenshot, but that's all right. And then we'll go like that. Hopefully it's going to do it, or else we're in a little bit of trouble and we might have to go without the background for today. Right, we're going to have to exit full screen for a second for one of the tabs. We're just still hearing the New Zealand national anthem as well while we wait. One second, go like that, drag that. Doesn't want us still. We're going to have to grab that one. I also can't see the chat at the moment for about 5 seconds. What we'll do is we'll go like that. We'll grab this one. We'll go here. This time, hopefully, screenshot. Right, it's working this time, ladies and gents. We're all good. So we'll go here. We'll grab that one. Put that one there. We're back to full screen in that department, so that should all be working smoothly. And you've got this, says Cody. And also we have there, lest we forget. And also the black and yellow, says Shane. And there as well. They are just playing the last post. This matchup, it's a big match feel between these two sides. The Brumbies, like I said, they want to come back from their loss to the Fijian draw. The Hurricanes, they want to prove that they are still that number one side in terms of the overall standing. But to be able to do that, it would take a big victory here over the Brumbies, as well as avoiding any chance of the potential Chiefs win just around the corner up against the Fijian drawer. Right, we'll go like that. We'll grab that one. And with a little bit of luck, it should pop up within about 5 seconds. And we should be all sorted. There we go. We got the updated one. But do let me know your score predictions for this contest. We have got there, I'm here, did you miss me, says Jared. Well, you were here yesterday as well, so it is great to see you once again. Of course, a big day in Super Rugby as a whole. Alongside also the Wars, they are going to be playing later on up against the Dolphins there too. But do let me know your score predictions in that regard, ladies and gents. Got to say, big ups to the Christchurch fans. Those who have travelled here, Southern Hemisphere Rugby is so strong. Says the area underdog pick. Yeah, it seems like the stadium as a whole, from what we've heard in terms of feedback throughout the last 24 hours or so, people are pretty happy with it. They see that there's a great selection of food. It's quite steep in the stands, but it kind of has to be able to fit as many people as they have, plus be right next to the action with the big frame. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see how these two sides go. Of course, no one has missed a kick yet in Super Rugby Pacific Super Round. No one has missed a kick at this stadium either. So today, we could see someone do just that. Thanks for having me, says Jared. No worries at all. Just bloody lost my license. How did you manage that, MPT? As in, like, lost it, as in you can't find it, or you got pulled over and lost it? I'd assume the second one. But the first one's also probably quite an annoyance as well, to be fair. Just having the moment's silence after the last post. And then we will be into the rugby action for this match of the Super Round. We've got plenty more games coming up later on tonight as well. Including Blues versus Reds. And then a few games of the URC there as well. And they have had the moment's silence. These two sides are probably about 2 minutes away, I'd say, from starting up. I'll go like that as well. The referee in charge of this one, it looks like it will be Paul Williams, who does have the main whistle. Angus Gardner, one of his assistants. TMO, not too sure who it's going to be just as of yet. Show him you're the best 10 around, Ruben, says Shane. It will be an interesting battle between him and Declan Meredith. Meredith's been one who's actually really stepped up for the Brumbies this season and possibly goes a little bit under the radar. Normally they would have someone like a Noah Lysio, but with injury. In fact, no, he went to Japan, didn't he, Noah? So, yeah, big opportunity for Declan Meredith. Strong under the high ball too. Yeah, bloody pig, says MPT. What did you do, though, like to lose it? Because obviously you would have done something right rather than them just taking it off you because they didn't like you. Is this when you're going to go, I was going 200 Ks, hate the fact that the police took it off me? With a round of applause, it looks like a pretty full stadium. Once again, morning image. Says Kyle, welcome in, mate. Ready to go for this game. There is a section of the stadium they mentioned about that would be looking straight into the sun. Admin respect from the crowd, staying silent. Says Wade there. He's got that big match kind of feel about it as well for this Hurricanes versus Brumbies matchup. There are some very important points that are going to be decided. 10 tries, 711 carry metres for Fineanganofo. He's had 26 line breaks and 28 tackle busts. Man has done absolutely brilliantly. Do you rate the Canes 15? I do. I actually think that Callum Harkin, to be fair to him, the fact that he can play 10 as well, he might not be quite a bolter this year, but I think we'll see that man's name in international kit at some stage within the next 5. One too many beers. Watching the local rugby, says MPT. So one too many beers got your license taken off you. Is it like a repeat infringement? Because normally if it's just a little bit over, you get like a bit of a fine and maybe a few demerits. Fineanganofo, he will be one to keep an eye out for in this match. Well and truly, did you say no one has missed a kick this season? No one has missed at the stadium. And so far throughout the Super Round. So pretty much 100% kicking accuracy from the Crusaders, as well as the Waratahs yesterday. No one missed a kick. Sid Harvey did extremely well. And then I believe it was Taha Kimura and then followed by Reves Rehana. But no one has missed a kick at this new stadium. So unfortunately for one of the teams in this game, there's a chance that someone will. Couple over there at CMPT. And those damn onions. See, there's Cool Coyote. There's plenty of emotion and passion out there on the field. During the national anthem as well as the last post by Paul Williams, the man in charge for this game. Big opportunity for him. And Holy Guy actually stayed quite low. Says Brandon. But Brett Cronin, the TMO, in charge of this game. Referee also does have the poppy on the chest. And I believe that both of these sides are wearing custom Anzac kits. And thanks, there's Defunk. And there as well. But yeah, who's it going to be? Will it be Ruben Love, who misses the first ever kick in Christchurch? He's got a lot of strapping on his ear at the moment. In fact, one of his ears is completely covered, so took a nasty knock at some stage, I would say. You won't be able to yell at him from that side. He won't actually know what's going on the right-hand side of his face. Afternoon, Hamish. Should be a close game than the tipsters suggest. What do you think? It all depends on how the Brumbies come out, because they've beaten some great sides this year. In fact, if they win this game, they clean sweep the New Zealand sides. But you just wonder whether or not, after that loss last week to the Fiji and Roa, is that going to fire them up, or is that going to slightly deplete the confidence a little bit? That one's going to be kicked in a touch by Ryan Lonergan. First box kick of the day. Like they've said, just settling the nerves there. That'll be Bowden Barrett. Oh, so you're saying 100% accuracy in this game heading into that next one. Cam Roygaard goes away to Ruben Love. Geordie Barrett. No, nice. Almost through the breaking of the defensive line for Braden Enor. Oh, sorry, not Braden Enor. Braden Yossi. Well, Enor did pretty nicely yesterday as well. Big shot on Cam Roygaard. Canes are a great second half team, says Kate Slade. Good morning, Hamish. Hey, how was the visit to the new girlfriend? The Sharks lost, unfortunately. Yeah, every time we don't cover a Sharks game, they keep losing at this point in time. Two close games, too, up against Edinburgh, as well as the Ospreys. Now, Fineanganofo running down the wing, bumps off Andy Muirhead. Trying to get the steal and the breakdown was Lachlan Shaw. I know the Brumbies, their key to success here is definitely that breakdown. They got Valentini. They've got Rory Scott, Tui Lima. Those men can steal a few. Geordie Barrett going with the up and under. And out towards the right wing, where it was actually Raymond Tuputupu chasing after it rather than Morby. Ball is on the side of the Brumbies now, though. On paper, the Brumbies look good. But they have a few oldies in the forwards, says Paul Elliott. And that was your day-to-day Hamish this case later. It's gone very quick, to be fair, but I'm excited for all the rugby that we got coming up. We've got a couple games of the URC later on, as well as just next game. It's going to be Reds versus Blues. That one will be kicking off in about 2 hours, 20-ish minutes. I believe is when that one's going to be starting. Hit in a touch again by Ryan Lonergan. Only 2 minutes into this contest, and we are yet to see a try, which is good. But it did take a little while to get that first try on the board. The Crusaders versus Waratahs game yesterday. I feel like this game will be a little bit quicker in that department. If I remember correctly, Ospreys also lost in the dying minutes. Says Xander, yeah, there were some really close games just recently in that round of the URC. I think the biggest one was separated by about 5. Now this one's going to be kicked high by Ruben Love. Geordie Barrett chasing after it. He managed to get 2 good hands to it, but then has knocked it on in the process. What's your prediction for the Blues game? I'm hoping it will be close, but I do think the Blues will be pretty determined to get a big win there. It looks like they play in the Brumbies. Says Cool Coyote. Wait, looks like they're playing, as in like the way they're playing is good, right? Rather than the actual team being the Brumbies. The man in charge of them, Larkham, watching on from the coach's box. Looks like we're going to get ourselves the first scrum of the contest now. Blessing come in. Says used. And also we have got their winners, the Ospreys, playing. I believe they've already played for this round, but there are still quite a few games of the URC to come. The next one that is happening is going to be Stormers versus Glasgow, which is a top of the table clash. So definitely one to keep an eye on there. There's a little bit of a stoppage here. Well, both sides just get themselves a couple refreshments. Are we going to watch the game live if I live in France? Maybe the Super Rugby YouTube channel. I know that for some overseas options, that is one of them that you can watch it on YouTube. The other option in that case is, I don't know if Canal Plus has it, unfortunately. That Larkham used to carve up the ABs back in the day, says David the Mod. Yeah, he's done quite well as a head coach of this Brumbies side too. They've got a great side on paper. It's just putting the performances together. This Brumbies side, they have had some brilliant wins over Kiwi teams, but then let it slip up against the Aussie sides, as well as the Fijian draw. Pack weight's 895 kgs for the Hurricanes compared to the 885 of the Brumbies. I'm watching the actual New Zealand Sky. So, like, is in Sky Sport, or you're talking about the Sky above? I feel like a lot of your comments at the moment called Coyote have, like, double meanings. And Hamish says, Joe Man. I'm so irritated by the refereeing in the Sharks game last night. He blew the Sharks over a skewed feed, but was letting Edinburgh put the ball under the Lock's feet. Says I Lollipop. And Brumbies to score first. You look tired. What time is the Stormers match? That is happening at 11:45, and then we've got a game after that at 2 a.m. So far, this game is very slow. That's what the Brumbies would want. Yeah, I think they'll be happy enough with the pace that this game's being played at. We've seen a few kicks from both sides. Lonergan, particularly when he's trying to clear the ball. Whereas on the other side, we've seen a little bit of, that aerial challenge from the likes of a Geordie Barrett going for cross kicks. A projector-type game. Says Napier there. Yeah, I'm hoping it's separated by 7 or less. That would be ideal, because then both of these sides would get some form of point. And Larkham would have been a fantastic AB's coach, says Shane. And Blue's going to win. They'll have a decent chance, I think. They come in as the biggest, or like the closest game that won. And the Blues are favourites for it. Warner Dearns, ball in hand now, 40 metres out from their own line here, the Hurricanes. Cam Roigard rolling it back. One's going to be kicked high. And towards the halfway line, going to be slapped back by Geordie Barrett. This time it's knocked back by Ryan Lonergan as well, who was able to grab that next ball. Oh, taken back in the back. Breakdown from Cam Roigard. Trying to curve that one a little bit towards the sideline. Tom Wright has to take the ball only a couple metres out from his line. Does kick it downfield. Not managing to find touch. Ruben Love going to be running this ball back away to the left-hand side. Callum Harkin moves it on to Duplessis Karefi. Now going right across to Fineanganofo. Nicely done by Braden Yossi to be able to get out of his way, not to have any sort of obstruction. We saw quite a bit of that in the game last night. Warner Dearns straightens with his run, 20 metres out from the line. Only sitting about 15 metres out from the try line. Cam Roigard, back to the right again. Billy Proctor moves it on. Short ball from Harkin to Geordie Barrett. Look for the risky offload, and it's gone straight into the hands of Corey Toole. So the turnover there for the Brumbies. They're wanting the steal and the breakdown, but they can't get it, the Canes. A very nice stadium. They could have made bigger in the goals, but it's still okay. So he's called Coyote. And also we have got there, what do you think of the stadium? I think it's quite nice. Like, I've seen more people saying it's good than more people saying it's bad. So that's a bonus overall, I would say. And anyone who's actually been to it seems to be pretty happy with how it went yesterday. And a few of them back there today as well, of course. Now looking for the steal. Not going to be able to quite get it. Cam Roigard going away to the right-hand side. Ruben Love. Moves it on to Geordie Barrett. Passes out to Morby. Can't get through Corey Toole. Canes on the attack though. 40 metres out from the opposition line. Huge gap for Ruben Love to be able to run through. Missed tackle there from the Brumbies. Love's trying to do it all himself, but he's dragged down 6 metres out. Roigard back across Proctor. Wide cutout pass. Very strategically done. And Fineanganofo finishes it in the corner for the Hurricanes for their first try of the contest. We have got there also, where is it? I don't care what anybody says. Geordie is not a good 12, says Crotimus. We have got there looking like a steady as you go pace. Then expect an explosion each time points are scored, says Michael. Players cannot make mistakes at this level, says, or make mishaps, at this level, says David the Mod. Do you like the new stadium? I like it. It looks like a Forsyth Bar 2.0 with a few modifications to make it that little bit better. But yeah, like it looks nice. Looks tidy enough. And a good break by Love and nailed the kick, says called Coyote. And also we have there try, says Matthew. Yeah, first kick of the day. now for Ruben Love. No one has missed a kick at this stadium as of yet. This is going to be a tough one for Love. Right out by the touchline. No breeze to deal with. He has got it over. Still 100% for this stadium's kicking accuracy. Ruben Love is deceptively fast. Yeah, that gap opened up pretty quickly for him to be able to run through. We're going to see the replay. It was the good hands from Delaney. And then just that dummy run from Siali Lawakai, which does create that gap. Ruben Love to be able to run through the back as they were lured in to try and tackle him. And yeah, just nice stepping coming there from Ruben Love. Great kick stat, says Michael. Hi, all and Hamish says, Robert, welcome in. I think he wanted Harkin to run them. Says Cool Coyote, now passing away to the left-hand side. Big collision there, about 20 metres out from the line. Cam Roygaard kicking it in behind. Gave it a decent old boot, but it is claimed by Andy Muirhead. And the kick back downfield. Geordie Barrett dropping it, but it does go backwards into his teammates' hands. Now another kick downfield. That is Callum Harkin this time. Declan Meredith go for a kick of his own. Starting to play a little bit of territory for both of these sides. A bit of an aerial ping-pong challenge. Geordie Barrett, ball in hand. He's going to kick it long. And again, well taken by Corey Toole. And more of that, Mr. Love. An impressive arena indeed, says David the Mod. There's going to be a mistake made there. It was actually by Paul Williams. He ended up in the breakdown. So it is going to be a scrum feed here for the Brumbies. James Slipper, he is looking at the referee with a slight smirk on his face. We're going to see the replay now for Corey Toole. Just changes direction. I'll tell you what, that would have been a hard shot on the spine there for the referee. Took an elbow right to the back. And also we have got there, I thought Nick Berry was good last night. Very fair, says Cool Coyote. And there was no arms tackle from the ref, says Nutter Boy. Currently 10 minutes through this contest, 7 points to 0. Possession currently is 74% in favour of the Hurricanes, 71% for the Territory, and time in opposition 22. The Brumbies have not been within the Hurricanes 22 throughout this first 10 minutes. And Nick and Paul both been hit at the new stadium. Love it, says the AI underdog pick. Now scrum here. They've got a bit more power making its way off the bench for the Hurricanes, and also a bit more experience. That one's going to be kicked in behind. Nicely claimed again. That looks like it's going to be close to out on the full from Josh Morby. In fact, that time it was Callum Harkin. Does make the mistake, puts his hand up and apologises to his teammates. And now gives the Brumbies the best chance of this game to be within the Hurricanes 22. Like I said, they haven't done it as of yet. But there's still time. It's the best and newest stadium in the world until the next one comes along, says Michael. I guess that's true, isn't it? Now going away to the right-hand side to Elema. That ball was shoveled on by Declan Meredith. I'm not sure if it was on purpose or whether he did just drop that ball. Now Lonergan back across to the left-hand side. A big two-man tackle on the veteran James Slipper. Lonergan to Elema now. Ryan Lonergan, again moving it on. Tom Wright trying to sneak through. He's managed to get through the tackle attempt of Lawakai. Makes those couple extra metres. Meredith tries to chip him behind. It goes to Corey Toole. Now, again, Lonergan looking off to the left-hand side. Finds Van Neck. Skip pass. Muirhead, 2 men on him. Fineanganofo as well as Harkin making the tackle, but the advantage is now in play for the Brumbies. Might be their first visit to the 22. Maybe the time that they score, that's going to be the penalty awarded now, though. A more try of Brumbies coming up. It feels like James Slipper has been playing since I was a teenager, and I'm 64, says Mark. He's had a long career, hasn't he? He's currently sitting as the most capped Super Rugby player of all time, and he doesn't really look like slowing down. Like, you assume that like maybe either this season or next season he'll consider hanging it up. But for now, he's still having quite a bit of success as a whole. So I don't think he'll be too quick to leave this Brumbies side. Now line out here. They have a strike rate of 18%, the Brumbies. I'll feed in Billy Pollard. That's nicely stolen by the Hurricanes. Means that Cam Roigard now will be able to go away to the right-hand side. And all picked off nice Canes. I think you're a little bit ahead, Cool Coyote, so be sure not to put it too quickly in the chat if you can. About 13 minutes into this one. Cam Roigard rolling this one back. And that one's going to be put into touch. Andy Muirhead does decide that a quick throw is not the option here. They are just showing some of the cinematics from far away of this new stadium. And I am in the Lansdowne's Live, says Big Rig. It's busy this weekend. There is plenty of rugby taking place. Game straight after this one, Blues versus Reds, and a couple games of the URC. We are also going to be covering. Plus a couple games on Sunday for Super Rugby, something that we haven't had in a while. We have got their Forgot Slipper. When old mate Ma'anonu retiring, he's 43. Yeah, he's been hanging in there, hasn't he? Ma'anonu playing for Toulon at the moment. I want to know how many clubs that man's had throughout his career, because surely he's up there in terms of like not just being the oldest player in like the top 14 and everything like that, but also, you know, he's had a lot of teams. That one's going to be kicked dead. A bit too much from Ryan Lonergan on it. Did you see Edinburgh well? Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, they did very nicely in that game. Another close loss for the Sharks, and unfortunately those games are starting to cost them big time in terms of the chance of making it into the URC playoffs. Brumbies need to score, says Cody. You haven't been able to as of yet. 14 minutes into this game. They are still sitting with 0 points on the board. Women's Six Nations 2, looking forward to that. Wales versus England today, although France versus Ireland will be the better game for a neutral, says Big Rig. Did Ireland France play each other in the women's quarterfinals, was it? Was it the quarterfinals or the semi-finals that they played each other? New Zealand had Canada. France would have had England on the other side of the draw. Was it the quarterfinals that they faced each other? I watched the Newcastle Red Bulls game today. I see why they signed Fihi and Poldy Rickety Stones. They're lacking in talent. There's a Sporting Kiwi. Yeah, they would have probably paid a pretty penny for him as well, which is great news for Fihi. Yeah, just showing the Captain Shout Cup, what these two sides are going to be playing for. 15 minutes through, and we have got another scrum buller. Says Asala. Welcome in, hope you're doing well. Of course, the Fijian draw, they are going to be in action tomorrow up against the Chiefs. That is going to be the final game that has taken place for that Moana Pacifica versus the Highlanders. Another scrum feed. Just the one try so far in this contest. That was Fineanganofo. Yeah, France won 18 points to 15. Yeah, that was the game Ireland overperformed, or like people didn't think it was going to be close, and Ireland all but managed to get the job done, didn't they? I think we covered that one on the channel, maybe, if I remember rightly. Ma'anonu played for 8 clubs in his career: Hurricanes, Blues, Highlanders, Wellington Lions, Black Rams, Tokyo, RC Toulon, San Diego Legion, and East Coast. Yeah, so surely like that's got to be right up there in terms of the most clubs, right? In terms of modern players, like throughout the last, well, even since the professional era, really. Now, Fineanganofo chasing after the high kick from Cam Roigard, well taken by Tom Wright, and the penalty awarded, as there was no chance for Fihi to be able to take that one. Tom Wright kicking it in behind. Hurricanes retreating, and they called the mark there with Ruben Love. Ireland scored in like 5 minutes. France looked better for the next hour, but didn't score much. Still two decent teams. Yeah, like I think it could be. Oh, is that in France or in Ireland? Might be in Ireland, is it? Or have the French got the home game there? I know that they're playing at home up against the English. That one's kicked in behind. This one's rolling, and it goes dead in the end again. Just a little bit too much on it from the Brumbies. That is the second time that they have kicked the ball dead. This time Andy Muirhead rather than Ryan Lonergan. And 8 hours your day. It's gone very fast. But good overall. Still plenty more coming up. And that's the Tahi, says Tolro there. And also we've got there is the Sharks out. Pretty much. They're pretty much gone at this stage, I would say. But then the Ospreys, because they also, you know, they didn't exactly secure a big win either. So there's now 10 points between 10th place and 9th place. And 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th all have a game in hand. So, yeah, I think the competition's done for those lower teams unless they go on a bit of a tear for the final, 2 weeks. They can maybe make up. No, they can't get there. I was just doing the maths. You live for the Black Ferns? Probably not. I'll end up probably watching that game, though, while I do have a bit of a snack, getting ready for the URC games. Went to the game last night, and it was packed, and I heard every team is playing here. Yeah, everyone except for, sadly, the Western Force. They don't get the opportunity. They're going away to the right-hand side. Cam Roygar, short ball to Billy Proctor, who takes it 40 metres out from the line. Good steal in the break. No, in fact, penalty advantage. Goes against Rory Scott. They're going to say no clear release. I try hard at the breakdown penalty. Canes, once again, you are still a little bit ahead, Cool Coyote, so if you are willing to wait 30 seconds or so before mentioning what's happening, it would be greatly appreciated, as it doesn't mean that I get it spoiled, as well as some of the chat who are following along. Ruben Love does kick that one into touch. One at the Force get it in Super Round, just the way that the draw worked out, unfortunately. But, they'll be chilling watching this, I'm sure. I'm waiting for their game next week up against the Waratahs. Sorry, but no worries. I think you're probably watching on Sky maybe, so you're a little bit headed or further ahead than Sky Sport now, which does seem to have that bit of a delay. When is the next Rugby Sevens? You're probably looking at about 40 days away, or maybe about 35. I think it's about 5 weeks away from the next Sevens. Now trying to get this rolling maul going here for the Hurricanes. Raymond Tuputupu has got the ball at the back. Now Cam Roygaard away to the right-hand side. Backline movement. Nice run from Fineanganofo. We knew that one was coming because we saw Yay in the comments as well. We have got their way of the Chiefs. And number one, when the Canes have a better points differential, says the real Ando. 1 second. We'll go like this. And we'll go like that. It's because they've had more wins. So what happens is wins and then points differential is how the table works. But the Hurricanes, they still have the game in hand, so it will probably even itself out. Whereas the next seven's being held, it is going to be in Valladolid in Spain. Nice finish for Fineanganofo. And doing great as usual. Thanks from Motueka in Tasman. I haven't been to Motueka in about 15 years. Do they still have that bakery on the main street, Richard? I think that's where the bakery was that I remember. Is it the bakery and cafe? Is that the one that I'm thinking of? Maybe. But I remember there was a bakery that had really nice pies when we were there. That was like 15 years ago though, so probably changed a bit since then. What's your take on Proctor? I think he's done all right this season. I know that he is, in some people's opinions, out of the All Blacks running, but I think you have to give him a couple cracks without Geordie Barrett on his inside, because even for the Hurricanes, at times, those two don't work well together. So, Tupaia Proctor might be a combination that maybe if he was given that bit of an opportunity, could do a little bit better, but there's some people who say that he's already had that's a terrible kick from the Brumbies. Declan Meredith's tried to kick for the corner and he's kicked it straight dead. That's now the third time. So I'm not sure what's happening here with the Brumbies' feet, but it's not quite working out. Several players have played for more clubs. Freddie Burns, Matt Giddo, Danny Cipriani, and Chris Ashton with 9 each, according to ChatGPT. Tell you what, it's done a lot more research than ourselves then, although Martin Nornie's still going. So maybe he's got 1 or 2 more clubs in him. I got some jelly babies. They're not really a breakfast. Not really, no. But if you eat enough of them, they are. It's terrible health advice, isn't it? Yes, it's still there, says Richard. Nice. Yeah, I'll have to head up that way at some stage. I haven't even been that way for, like I said, probably 15 years or so would have been the last time. Here you went out with your girlfriend. I didn't know I had a girlfriend. So that's news to me. I assume Haino's the one starting that, is he? Now going away to the left-hand side, wide cut-out pass to Fineanganofo. He currently has 2 tries in this matchup already. Bit of a counter-ruck there from the Brumbies. Brumbies hoofing this game away. Who's the Brumbies playing next week? I believe, 1 second, we'll go like this. I've actually got the pop-up for that. There you go. So the Brumbies are going to be playing up against the Reds. That is the Saturday night game, 9:35. Warner Durns, big driving tackle on him by Rory Scott. Only 23 minutes through. I better update the scoreboard. There we go. We got it up to 14 now. Geordie Barrett going for the big up and under once more off of his boot. Corey Toll knocks that one on. Nicely taken by Barrett. Gives it away to Duplessis Karifi. Roygard. Ruben Love now looking for a 50-22. Tell you what, it's got a pretty good angle on it, but the steep bounce does mean that Corey Toll is able to claim it. And he will boot it into touch himself. Here's where the Brumbies play the Reds. So there's a guy there. Is it going to be a 2 from 4? 2 from 4. As in like, wait, who's that for? Because I know that if the Brumbies win this, it is a clean sweep for the Brumbies up against New Zealand sides, which is thoroughly impressive. And we have there, Xander says Mohadin. And Edinburgh won against the Sharks first time till since 2022. Geordie Barrett tackled 38 metres out. Roygard moving away to the left-hand side again. No, left-hand side. Delaney. See some face play at the moment from the Canes. Eye from Timaru. Says Sean. Yeah, I hope you are doing well. That's another knock on. This time from the Canes, so it will be the scrum feed for the Brumbies. It sounds like Ruben Love came to play. He's been heavily involved so far. Do you think we can beat the steroid-taking nations? Not accusing you, South Africa, says Wade. What do you mean? Like, as in, like, just in rugby in general? Because I've mentioned it before. Like, yes, South Africa get a lot of stick for it, but they're not the only side around the world who have been pinged for it. In fact, there was a while there for New Zealanders that we had quite a bad reputation at schoolboy rugby level, as well as the lower levels too. Luckily, that seems to have passed now, but there was a little patch where it was looking a little bit dodgy. We have got there, he is, but I feel so far the Canes keeping this thing very simple. And I lost all his bets yesterday, says Mohadin. It's going to be a penalty for the Brumbies now. So it is going to easily win the Super title. Every other team sucks. Wasn't that a stand-up bit from George Carlin about Lance Armstrong? Did you have a good rest, Hamish? Amo did very well. Back Scotland, they won. In there too. You know, he slowly, like he's actually done quite a few streams for us now. I think he's up to about 10. Now this one's going to be thrown in by Billy Pollard. Oh, slip there from Ryan Lonergan. A bit of an awkward one too. He kind of looked like, you know, when you purposely try to slip, it looked like that, but I know that, of course, he wouldn't have been trying to. He just couldn't get a foot underneath him. As the Western Force one team with the bye, correct, yes. So they don't get to take part in the Super Round, unfortunately. Oh, this is a question that's a penalty now. Out of all the sides, if the Western Force had the opportunity, who would you have wanted to see them play? Force are not a good team. Aren't they? Like, they're going all right this season. I'll show you the table at the moment. This was, of course, before the game. So, like, the Western Force, you know, they've had 3 wins, same as the Highlanders. Fiji and draw, they have won 1 extra game, but the Force have had some pretty handy wins along the way. They beat the Highlanders, they beat the Crusaders. So they like beating South Island New Zealand teams by the sounds of that. That sucks. I would have loved for Zach Lomax to have experienced this. Says a sporting Kiwi. And so it is a 4 Hamish. They are. That's why I said it was from the start of the round. We have their Force versus Brumbies. An Aussie derby in that department. Nice take at the back from Warner. Durns decides to kick it downfield, although from doing so, it has put the ball in the middle of the park. Bit of a counter-attack now for the Brumbies. Run from Tom Wright, tackled round halfway by Fineanganofo. And another penalty. It's going to be won by Duplessis Karefi. Redemption turnover. You're still about maybe 10, 15 seconds ahead, Cool Coyote. And we have got their rugby isn't huge in Perth. There's a real endo. Yeah, but there's still a team in the comp, aren't they? So it would have been nice to see them for the Super Round. But of course, for that to happen, they need 12 teams. But yeah, HBF Park's been doing all right, I think, numbers-wise this year, which is great to see. And the Force doing decently in some of their home games, I think, has helped that. And Brumbies versus Reds is the best Australian Super Rugby game, and that is taking place next week for that one. And Satyrs versus Hurricanes is the best New Zealand game in Super Rugby. That one's taking place next weekend as well. Who you got to win tomorrow's game? Which game are you talking? There are 2 for Super Rugby and about 3 for the URC. Ruben Love going across to the left-hand side to Duplessis Karifi. Another penalty advantage in favour of the Canes. Roigard goes across now to Raymond Tupu. Tupu gets in the decent bend again. Rory Scott looking for the steal and the breakdown. Now Proctor goes to Callum Harkin. Huge win for Canada versus USA in the Pacific 4. Huge win for... So the Canadians won, right? I know that USA scored early and then Canada was sitting at about 19 points to 7 up. That one's going to be another penalty. The Force do have some Wallabies and they are moving in the right direction. Good to see a couple Sunday matches. And also 35-20 easy win. I don't know if it was easy. It definitely got easier as the match wore on. As soon as the Waratahs line-out fell apart, that was where we really did see them start to get flowing a bit, but a few nervous moments early, I think, for both of those sides. Just new stadium, big atmosphere, super round in front of what was probably one of the bigger crowds that a lot of those players had played in front of. So, yeah, they did all right in the end, though. The Crusaders secured the bonus point. And I laughed as Andy's making jokes saying you're visiting your new girlfriend. Everyone is wondering now, says Ruth. Well, I can confirm that the rumours are false. So that's probably a bit, well, it's sad for me and for you guys. I guess that's very close to the line for the Hurricanes now. He's doing a bit of a headstand there at the front. Now, Roigard looks like he's going to try and use his forwards, or at least he considered it. It looks like it's going to be called as a knock-on against the Hurricanes. The Brumbies getting in there. USA 12-50 Canada. Okay, that sounds about right in terms of the scoreline. I think that Canada was supposed to win by 30 in that game, so they went out there and they actually got a bit more on the board too. Now going away to the left-hand side. Billy Proctor stepping on the inside. Can't quite get through. Tui Lima and Pritchard. The Hurricanes with Cam Roigard. Pops it off to Devon Flanders. And Roigard again. Going to lower key. England, New Zealand, Canada is the order, right? That is correct. Yep. So New Zealand, after beating Canada, moved into the number 2 spot. Oh, that one's going to be dropped. And it's another knock-on. Had a few of them so far throughout this contest. The Hurricanes, 30 minutes in. The score sitting 14-0. Both tries from Fineanganofo. Must be buzzing in Christchurch to Anzac. With all the teams in town, says Michael. Yeah, that's been talked about a lot, the atmosphere throughout Christchurch with so many different kits of different teams. And attendance is, that's no surprise in 15s. And 7s, USA, much more competitive, says the Sporting Kiwi. And also, well done, Canada, says David the Mod. Although, even with that win, I believe New Zealand still sit above them, right? 1 second, we'll go like this. And like that. The table, yeah, New Zealand are sitting at the top anyway. So, no matter what happens in their game up against the Australians, they've won the Pacific 4 series. They're going across. One's going to be kicked to behind from Andy Muirhead. It does find touch. We have got there, imagine not being in Christchurch and going to the new stadium. Hey, that's a familiar face. Who's that guy? Antonio Shalfoon, that's who he was. The Crusaders lock from yesterday. I don't actually recognise him just out in the public. I knew that he looked like a rugby player, but I couldn't work out who it was. Lonergan goes back across. Good for us Kiwis. Hamish had a Brian Brandy while we supporting the Sharks. No, I slept. And I woke up to see once again that they had lost, unfortunately, for the Sharks side. Another knock-on, this time from the Brumbies. A few handling errors throughout this first half for both of these sides. Can you do Springboks Under 20 Monday? I think I'm going to be, as well as the All Blacks Under 20s too. And then heading to work a few hours later. Should be good fun. Do you think Will Jordan be back next week? I don't know if next week, or whether it's maybe the week after, or maybe even the trailing week after that. Crusaders, the last thing that they will want is to lose them before the playoffs. Seen handling errors, 3 from the Hurricanes, 2 from the Brumbies here. 5 penalties against the Canes. And 3 against the Brumbies. 8 minutes in this first half. It's actually gone quite quick. It normally does for the early games of the weekends. That's the case with the Fijian Roa, Moana Pacifica early kickoffs that we sometimes see. What time is the Under-20s AB's game? At a brutal one. Unfortunately, I think it's at midnight. Might be New Zealand time. I'll just quickly get the exact time for you. Now, step in there is Corey Toole. Big driving tackle from Duplessis Karefi. But in terms of the under-20s, they are playing Australia at midnight on Tuesday. So, yeah, Monday night, Tuesday morning is when that game's taking place. Can you do the Challenge Cup and Champions Cup next week? Maybe. I think we're doing a few of those games on the channel. Now, Ryan Lonergan going away to the right-hand side. Tackle on Meredith, low from Karefi again. He's starting to become a little bit of a tackler machine in just the last 10 minutes or so. Another good one made by Warner Dearns. Now, Tuilima going away to the left. The veteran, James Slipper. Now, Rory Scott tries a bit of a jumping, weird tactic and running, but Devon Flanders has managed to stop him. A fun neck. That ball's been coughed up by the Brumbies. It's going to be another scrum feed. My MVP was actually McLeod, but yes, Leicester good for 7, says Cook Coyote. And please don't forget to press the like button, says John there too. And also won the last under-20s. Last under-20s was won by New Zealand, I believe, in 2025. 1 second. Under-20. Who did win that contest? Did we have one last year? Well, we had the Under-20 Championships last year. Although, there it is, the Under-20 Rugby Championship. New Zealand managed to get themselves the win. They had a draw up against the Australians, and then they managed to beat Argentina, as well as beating South Africa in a 48-45 thriller, which I remember covering, and it was absolutely insane, that game. We have there, guys, you do realise the Force have never won Super title, up the Satyrs, says Josiah. So is that why they weren't allowed to take part in the Super round? Because they haven't won a title, I assume you're saying? Now, that one's going to be dropped. That one's going to be put into touch. Just the grub of the up the Kane, says Emery. And Kane's getting 1 or 2 more tries. Might be a tough. Come back with that bench, says the RA underdog pick. And just showing the Hurricanes backline. Just another handling error for them. And 26 in Bingle Bay. Sunny, no wind, no rain. Beautiful. Says the real Ando. Good morning, Hamish. Trust you're well and had a good week, says Philip. Yeah, it's been a quick one. It feels like only a couple of days ago that we were finishing off the 7s of last weekend, but now straight back into the Super round for this one. Another about maybe 6.5, in fact longer than that, probably 7 more hours. Commentary coming up today. On to the right-hand side, Raymond Tuputupu tackled around the halfway line. Definitely not a spectator's game, too messy. Yeah, it hasn't found its full stride yet, has it, this matchup? Whereas on paper, it looks like the type of game that would be really, competitive, scrappy rugby. But for now, just the 14. Now a nice run from Callum Harkin, almost went through. And wonderful by Yossi. I'd like to see him in the All Blacks, give him a go. Now that one's going to be grubbing him behind by Cam Roygaard. And again, it does find touch. Line out here, about 8 metres out from the line. Mate, I have to ask you, what's your take on Geordie at 12? I think it depends on the game. But it's an interesting one, because I don't think Geordie and Billy Proctor's styles work well together, yet they are the Hurricanes duo in the midfield. So, Geordie Barrett, if he was to this year say, I'm going back to 15, I think that would be where a lot of people want to see him in the All Blacks rather than 12. Whereas you've got someone like a Timothy Tavanawe or a Quinn Tupai who are both playing absolutely insane at the moment, and you'd like to see them rewarded with a chance. Oh, missed that turnover chance there for Tom Wright. Currently 37 minutes through. Raymond Tuputupu. It could be a bonus point on the cards here for the Hurricanes if they are able to score again before the end of the half. Offloaded back up. Chopping tackle on Delaney. Is Balin Sullivan injured? I think so. Or he might just miss out. The thing is as well, Kini Naholo's 1 week away from returning. So if he returns, where does that leave someone like a Sullivan? That's a Waikato pass. Fineanganofo cuts back in and he's almost untouched. And he scores his hat-trick there. He slammed his groin on the ground by the looks of it from the reaction. But that is now a hat-trick. He is the only man who has scored in this game. And now for your quiz questions in about 10 years' time, who scored the first hat-trick at One New Zealand Stadium in Christchurch. That man's name is Fineanganofo. Good luck trying to spell that. But it's a nice pass out wide. And just finishing it off. It feels like ball games. There's Big Rig. And 9 Roygar, 10 Moonga. 11 is T. Who's T? I'm not sure who T is. 12 Geordie Barrett. 13 Tobiah. 14 Jordan, says Josiah. I didn't mean to rhyme that one. Go My Cane, says Real Ando. Yeah, 41 metres out. Mr. Key, or Mr. T, says Big Rig. Oh, bringing it round. Oh, okay. First missed kick at the stadium was Ruben Love. That's another quiz question for a decade's time. T is haircut man. And, oh man, I'm so behind on domestic rugby. When did Geordie come back from Leinster? This season. So he started the Super Rugby campaign after winning the URC with Leinster. They were of high praise of him as well. Like, if they had the opportunity to take him back, they probably would. They'd swap Rico in a heartbeat. Too easy in a hat-trick. Brumbies look like their season will collapse. They'll not make top 6, no chance, says Morgrel. And I feel like he left New Zealand because nobody can pronounce his name. I think it was just the fact that for him, the thing is, he signed that new deal before Razor. No, he didn't actually. He signed it before they had an All Blacks coach confirmed, right? But not before Razor was gone. So he obviously looked at the pecking order and went, look, I'm maybe 3 or 4 if I'm lucky. Probably should have stuck around for a bit longer because I'd say he's 1 or 2 now at the moment, the way he's been playing. But he's going to go overseas, make a bit of money in the Prem and then come back and potentially look at that All Blacks potential later on. This is looking like 50 points, says Cody. Billy Proctor is the most well-rounded centre, defensively organised, passing decision-making. Reminds me of Conrad Smith. Does a lot of good, but unseen stuff, says Random Buttworthy. And yeah, he's one of those guys who I think, once again, he hasn't been given a fair crack with a decent combo. You know, because don't get me wrong, Geordie Barrett can be world-class. You know, I don't think many people are denying that, but sometimes the direction of his runs just shuts down the chance of his outside centre. And that's where I actually think that Geordie Barrett-Rico Ioane combo in the midfield, it was struggling too, just because the styles didn't quite match. So, you know, I think I'd love to see Proctor given a chance at 13 with someone else at 12 for a few games before they decide to completely drop him out of All Blacks contention like many people have. Yep, Ryan Lonergan going to be playing this ball, currently on the halftime siren. So last play of the half here for this Brumbies team. I saw Warner Dearns is considering becoming eligible for the All Blacks. Would he be willing to miss next year's World Cup? Yeah, see, that's a tricky one, isn't it? And of course, you'd have to have that conversation with Eddie Jones as well. From all accounts, he's enjoying his time at the Canes. Score, please, at the moment, it is 19-0 in favour of the Hurricanes. Currently still waiting for that halftime break to come around. Currently the ball in the hands of the Brumbies with Rory Scott. And 19-0. But kick coming up, says Cool. That is going to be another advantage now. Canes 13 plus tonight, says Emery. The bounce ball, and that one's going to be well grubbed there by Ruben Love, almost stopping it like he's a football goalkeeper. Going back now for that penalty. What do the Brumbies do here? There is a chance for 3 if they want it. Mistouch, you're still here, Cool Coyote. Looks like they are going to be opting for the corner here. Rico is the best defensive winger in New Zealand, says Shane. Well, URC games you're streaming at the moment. Stormers versus, yeah, that one's dead again. That's twice in this game now for Declan Meredith that he's tried to kick it into touch and has just put it dead. And it's going to be a half time now. Wait, referee's calling them back. They've got to restart the game. Oh, okay, they have to do something for the Hurricanes here. What is your schedule for today? So, yeah, Stormers versus Glasgow is another one that we have got coming up. And then also we've got the Lions versus Connacht. And then also before that we've got Blues versus Reds. So yeah, it looks like the scrum is going to be played by the Hurricanes. Cannot stop butchering errors. They can't stop. They must stuff up. It's been programmed. Whereas Rico at the moment playing for Leinster in the URC, doing all right for them as well. He's had a couple man of the match nominations for that side. He's had a couple rough games too, but yeah, he's done all right as a whole, I would say. It will never be easy for the All Blacks alone of hard work, personal commitment and sacrifice will be needed to beat England, South Africa. Oh, it looks like they're actually going to go for one last attack here. The Canes, it's been passed into touch though, and that is now going to be the halftime break here. And will Rico ever come back to New Zealand Rugby? Probably. He's only had a sabbatical for Leinster, although it's going to be tricky for him to go straight back into that blue side. He definitely hasn't been mean. You do have your players who you hate, those scrotumists. So I feel like looking at it through eyes that don't like the player to start with, it's the same with each and every week with Jordie Barrett. If he does something well, you go, yeah, but I can remember 10 times he did something badly. And it's the same a little bit with Rico. Like, you still got to give him his flowers. Every once in a while, he has a pretty solid game. And, you know, that game of the Champions Cup, I think he's absolutely loving that format. Jordie Barrett was the same too, getting the chance to play in multiple competition. We have got there from New Zealand. Says Blondie NZ there too. And also we have got there, I'm excited for the Hurricanes versus the Crusaders. Don't know if I hate any rugby players, says Big Rig. Well, it's just weird to hate someone who, like, in most cases, like, their life doesn't really affect you much, if that makes sense. Like, there's some people who have a pure hatred for Henry Pollock, you know, and they've never met him. They've never heard him talk, but they've seen all the fake headlines about him on social media and him doing his celebration when his team does something right. And they go, I want to base my whole life of hating this 19-year-old from England. And it's like, well, when you really think about it, maybe don't do that. Maybe just get on with life. We have got there, the pot is gorgeous, says Ruth. We have got there, Rico scapegoated outside Geordie. And we have got the amazing, great commentary. Thank you very much. And Ioane and Clark are too inconsistent. Says Real Ando. Yeah, although Clark's got better, I think, this season. I think that we've seen him really step up. It's unfortunate the timing of him being out currently. But he scored those 3 tries in the one game, or 2 tries in the game. And then since then, he seems like he's found his old rhythm. Looking very dangerous out on that left wing side. I don't hate players. I hate supporters, especially South African supporters. They're unbearable. Says the Sporting Kiwi. We have got their man in their defence. Pollock comes to wind them up. He's taking some cues from Pro Wrestling Heels. Says Big Rig. We can speculate about players and what positions. They will all get a chance with Tour of South Africa. From there, you'll have a stable AB's team. We have got there, I don't hate Pollock, but he needs to actually start a game first. Before getting all the reps. He starts week in, week out, though, for Northampton. And that's the slightly interesting part. People always say, you know, he's never started a game in his life, but he does start week in, week out in the Premiership. But, of course, people who hate him at international level don't watch the Premiership normally to see him starting and doing well for the Saints. Henry Pollock has that nice bit of mongrel in him. He cracks me up, says Matthew. And also we have got there, don't know why, but something about Rico's face, asked for a punch, says Dunk. And where's Rico at the moment? Playing for Leinster. But, yeah, I think he's playing tonight. Maybe? Leinster, yeah, they're playing Benetton, aren't they? That'll be a big game. Joseph Akusa-Suaalii will be available for next week's match against the Western Force. And I want to see more imports in Super Rugby. Henry Pollock would be great for the Highlanders. The Wolf was the best thing about UK Gladiators. If you ever saw UK Gladiators, I have no idea. I've heard of the show, but I haven't seen any of it. Hey, lads. Says Jaden, welcome in. The Crusaders are still better, says Blondie. I'd say that at the moment, best performance of the round still, they're 19-0 though, the Canes. So would you say, we'll wait and see. Because, of course, a lot of handling errors here from the Canes. And I feel like the Crusaders, they had a few, but they were able to get themselves the bonus point win. So currently they are possibly team of the round. But I do think that will update by the end of this round of the comp. Could Roy Garden-Love be our future All Blacks halves combo? Maybe. It is potentially one that they could look at, that cohesion of them both playing together. He was the bad boy of the Gladiators, doing cheap shots and winding up the crowd. He's super good at it. Sees Big Rig. And we have there the Hurricanes, I don't know. And I just looked him up. He lives in New Zealand now, owns a gym. You can go say hi, says Big Rig. The Brumbies have come close to beating the Lions. Surely most New Zealand teams would have had a great chance of beating. New Zealand teams or New Zealand players are just not tested enough in Super Rugby. Let them play overseas after 40 tests. Says Ted Coop. You see, NZRU are very keen on that not happening. And I agree. I think if you reach a certain level of experience, like going overseas, coming back and playing for the international side of things should be fine. But that's where they've tried to breeze in, sabbaticals and whatnot so that players can still play internationally but still get that overseas money when it's available. We have got there, Hamish, don't mind what I was saying these past few days. Then getting time out, not even worth to say hi now. I didn't even know you had been timed out, Jaden. What did you say over the last few days? I am now confused. But the beauty of YouTube is I can see what you said over the last few days. So I'll be able to work out why you got timed out. Can we lead, says Blondie. And also we've got there, no one remembers how Rico's mother took in an Irish backpacker, fed him and looked after him in Auckland. Fair play, he's pretty nasty on the rugby pitch. Right, we'll click here. We can see channel activity. It says you've had 0 timeouts though. And Brumbies are so buns was your second comment. But yeah, it says you haven't had any timeouts. And we have got there, my Canes are lacking confidence when it comes to the ball handling errors. Hopefully they can correct that second half, says John. Yeah, I think that both sides have looked a little bit timid at times on attack. They've been making those little mistakes along the way. I notice Proctor's pass, he's now looking for his outsides more this year, says Cool Coyote. I mean, when you got Fineanganofo on your outside, you want to get that ball to him as much as physically possible. He scored the 3 tries in this contest already. And we have got their Canes to lose to the Chiefs in the Super Rugby final. Will be a tragedy, but it will happen, says Ted. And the only thing overseas comps for Kiwis is the money. Pinnacle of rugby is New Zealand. It is, but if you've got the chance to make the money overseas, like, I feel like nowadays, with the fact that, rugby careers, they don't last forever, unfortunately, unless you're Mata Nonu. That man's going to be playing till he's 50 by the looks of it. But, you've only got your peak years for so long. And for a lot of these guys, their rugby careers, as sad as it is, they won't be playing in 5 years. They won't even be playing in 3 years for some of these guys. So as soon as you finish rugby, you've then got to decide, what am I doing next with my life? So if you've got a bit of extra money sitting around from when you've been playing, like you gotta take that money, make hay while the sun shines, as they say. And for these guys, that is where the money is, the overseas competitions. Has Kiwi Rob timed out a ban? I don't actually know. Because I assume last weekend or the weekend before, he may have got either timed out or banned by a moderator. But then I don't know whether or not he is able to comment now, or whether he's literally he can't put things in the chat. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. Just showing that replay there from Proctor, the wide cutout pass. We have got there, do you want me to go along for live crossover? Says Isaac. Are you going to one of the games, Isaac? Potentially. I know that tickets are still available. Also, I've been asking the question, the hot dogs and chips combo, no one's been able to tell me how much it costs there. But someone said they do a wiener deal, which is 4 hot dogs, and I think you get something else for a decent price. But they, once again, didn't say the price. So maybe we're going to have to send you there so that you can tell us how much the food is. I'm not, says Isaac. Well, this is where we do the whole Oprah. Will you get a ticket? How much are the tickets? If we can find out how much the hot dogs are, that would be great. Super Rugby round prices. What do we got? Who your try scorer for the Wars game? I don't actually know, to be fair. I think that hopefully they just do all right, the Warriors, and they have a fair old few who do manage to score it. $16? Is it $16? That's pretty impressive if it's that cheap. And potatoes are for $4, and one hot dog is $9 to $12. Wait. Oh, $8. Okay. Tickets are not available for today by the looks of it. But Sunday, the one-day Sunday pass, that sounds cool off the tongue. The one-day Sunday pass, it might be sold out. Maybe, unless you buy the hospitality package. Interesting ticketing or kicking strategy from the Brumbies. 2,500 pesos. One New Zealand stadium, turns out it isn't just a name. This weekend they have really put everyone in it. Says Mark. Yeah, it's looked pretty impressive, hasn't it? As a whole over the weekend. I feel like, compared to, the thing is, the comparison to the Super Round in Melbourne, it's night and day. Those games you get like maybe 5,000 in attendance for some of those contests. Whereas you want a lot more, of course. Fineanganofo looks like he might have done a groin scoring his third try. He was grabbing at it, wasn't it? I think what happened, and I don't want to do speculation here, but I think what happened may have been he was sitting in the wrong place and he might have crushed a nut. Allegedly. He might not have, but that just kind of looked like where he was grabbing, how he might have potentially twisted it in the grounding of the ball. Or it could have been the groin, like you said. Do you see the scoring opening up in the second half? Maybe. How much is slushy at the game? I don't actually know if they have slushies at the game, but if they do, I have to get to a game because I do like a slushie. I know that at the Hagley Oval slushies are a little bit more than $5. I think they were about $6 or $7 for a large. Slushies are mid now. It depends on what flavour you get and also what the time of the year is. So I slightly agree with you there. If it's the middle of winter, you don't really want a slushie. But if it's in summer and it's hot, it can be the best thing ever. Crushed nut's not good. No, it would probably hurt quite a bit, I would think. And crushed nut is now trending, says Xander. But second half of this one, not a mile away. Slushies, I heard, really good in Turkey. I think that's hair transplants, maybe, rather than slushies. My nuts are hurting. That's a lot of information. I'm a music geek's friend. Who's your friend who's in music? That's quite the yat. Crushed nuts, okay, on an ice cream. Says the real Ando. The next game is just around the corner, ladies and gents. That one's going to be taking place between the Blues and the Reds. And there's a Quickie Mart slushie. Says a cool coyote. And BTA. What does BTA mean? And tips and vodka in it. Excelente. Says the AI underdog pick. Second half of this one. This game, I think we had a little bit of a delay. What was our delay in the first half? I can't remember. Something took a couple minutes. And I don't think it was actually after the game. I think it was the fact that the first half ran long. How much do you want to Ottoman Empire red colour hat? I can ship it to post office and send it to your house. An Ottoman Empire, I don't actually know what that is. I have a hat somewhere, but I can't find it. Well, actually, I have a few hats by the looks of it. They're over there. Didn't you say your second favourite Magnum is the crushed nuts after caramel? Nah, I'm not a fan of nuts on ice cream. I like the caramel Magnum and then probably just the plain one, BLT 2 arse. Like the sandwich you're sitting on a sandwich. Each to their own, I guess. Tommy Cooper hat says dunk. And love a jelly tip. Jelly tips are good. Choc bars are good too, although the chocolate in them's gotten a bit smaller as of late, like most things I have in terms of biscuits and ice creams and whatnot. Do let me know your score predictions, ladies and gents, because currently this one is not a low-scoring game. Well, it is for one team, but the Hurricanes are doing extremely nicely. 19 points to 0, like a Fez hat says snowdrops. Anyone here like Mr. Whippy ice cream? Me, George, and Daniel, we tried to get a Mr. Whippy ice cream from, I think it was a Christmas parade. But the problem that they had is they didn't have the FPOS machine working and we didn't have cash. But in the end, it worked well enough for one of us to buy an ice cream. And Mr. Whippy, it's all right. Turkey is a good country to visit. Istanbul is a city where you want to visit, says Jaden. And also, we have got there needs to try now, as in you missed the conversion, says Shane. But yeah, they are currently sitting with the bonus point here, the Hurricanes. BTA is about to ask. So what's that for? I'm confused at the context. We were talking about slushies. We were talking about the potential of Fihi Fineanganofo maybe crushing one of his testicles and you're saying about whipping someone's bottom. The Brumbies are blowing it with stuffed up kicks. Yeah, they've had 4 times they've kicked it dead in this game, which is just weird, to say the very least. Haven't you look like that one person who looks like a guest in a home just sitting there and talking? I guess I'm doing some of those things. The second half of this one is just about to get underway. The Hurricanes are sitting with that 19-0 lead. Only Fineanganofo has managed to score himself tries in this contest. Every other player just has to wait patiently. There's a Melbourne Rebels kit in the stands. Brumbies BTA says, so you're saying that Larkham's going to give them a bit of a behind slap and they'll be back out there raring to go. Can't complain about kick distance at least. I guess that's true. $159 for a Hurricanes kit there from the merch stand. That's nice. Not a fan of nuts on ice cream. It'd have to be a very warm day, says Mark. That one's going to be kicked off now, though, for the second half to get underway. The Hurricanes in position just inside of their own 40 metres. Just inside of their own 22, in fact. Carried back in, so this one cannot find touch on the full for Cam Roigard. The next game that we are covering, ladies and gentlemen, is starting up in about an hour and 20 minutes' time. And 1 minute in now, says Cool Coyote. That is true, although I'm only 30 seconds in, so you're still that 30 seconds ahead. Now, Lonergan. Way to the right. The bonus point is intact for the Canes, unless the Brumbies do get within 3-try deficit. We have there, Rugby Live Chat, Lifestyle Live Chat, says Jaden. And bring it home, Canes, says Shane. Looks like another box hit going to be coming here from Ryan Lonergan. Score could get scary if the Hurricanes would lock in, says Freshman. Yeah, they had a lot of handling errors throughout that first half. So the fact that they've had that and are still leading 19-0, if they start handling that ball better during this 40 minutes, they could get towards 50 points. Which seems like a lot, to be fair, but there is that potential. Kick forward from Cam Roigard. One goes into touch. Canes look like the real deal this year, says Josh. Yeah, if they can keep on climbing up that ladder, get themselves the home field advantage for the finals games, could be absolutely massive for them. Did you know doing a plank, holding power twister for 5 minutes can make a nuclear bomb? No one has guts to mess with you. I can make you a nuclear bomb. Right, I get you now. Kind of, I guess. But now Billy Proctor looking for the steal on the breakdown. He's almost got it too for the Hurricanes. Paul Williams looking at that one very closely, and it is the steal for Billy Proctor. Now Braden Yossi running it sideways, and tell you what, he's going to have to be tackled soon. Tui Lima getting bumped off the way to the right again. Roigard Morby does well not to drop that ball. He did fumble it initially. And up the Canes. Says Dam in there too. Now looking for the offload to Vita Mafaleo. He's knocked it on the start of the second half. We'll go like that. And I like that as well. We have got their nice hot coffee. And also, don't worry, I won't blow it for you. Says Cool Coyote, what's for dinner tonight? I don't actually know. Because it depends on how long we've got in between these two streams. But we might get lucky and have enough time to cook a piece of toast maybe. But whether or not anything fancier than that, possibly not. What a monster bench. The Hurricanes have mad depth. Says Tanner too. Yeah, it's pretty much, most of those guys are the guys who you could be starting. I'm interested to see how Josh Gray goes though. He's probably the unknown off that bench for me. When's the Canes last win it? Or when the Canes last win it, 2014? Something like that. Yeah, it's been probably long overdue, you'd have to say, for this Hurricane side. Although you could say that about quite a few of the New Zealand Super Rugby sides outside of the Crusaders. Baked beans with grated cheese on a baked potato. At least eat a banana. I do have bananas, so I could have one of those with the piece of toast. Or maybe separate, of course, but could be an idea. Scrum feed here again now for the Brumbies. Now the ball's going to be fed in. And well, early-ish match. Says NZ right. Yeah, the next game's kicking off at 7:35, but nice early start for this match, as well as the games tomorrow. I believe the first one starts at about 2:05. And then the last game of the Super Round is Chiefs versus Fiji and draw. That one's a bit later at around 4:30. Do you like yogurt? I don't mind a good yogurt. One's going to be cross kick from Geordie Barrett. It's risky, but it's beautifully weighted. Morby going for the chip in behind, but it goes straight into the hands of Corey Toole. You can see the frustration from Morby there as well, knowing that he blew that opportunity for the Canes side. This generation made crying as crying. That's so stupid. I've never heard someone say crying, but maybe that's because I don't have TikTok and whatnot. Yep, moving forward is Nick Frost. And away to the right once more. It's a good run from Pritchard. Thought about the offload up to Toole and possibly should have as Roygaard got his hand on the ball. Now Valentini moving it on. Tom Wright has, I believe that was going to be Filiwai on his outside. Doesn't get it to him. Now Rory Scott tackled again. Who's the 22 for the Brumbies? 22 is Tainted Mid. Oh, offload there. Taken by the Brumbies yet again with Lachlan Shaw. Now Lonergan out to Pritchard. Oh, ball pops free. Frost is having a bit of a juggle of it, and I think that a couple more Brumbies players look like they were struggling to hang on. They still have a good chance here. We'll mention Corey Toole is hugging the left-hand touch. Josh Morby is in a little bit further for the Canes, so maybe a cross kick could be on the cards here for the Brumbies. Offload from Muirhead, or to Muirhead, in fact. Now Lonergan fires away. Rory Scott with a nice short pass. And back across. One more. Now moving it on. Emmett goes to Corey Toole. Morby nowhere in sight. Offload on the inside, and they score the try down Morby's wing. Nice work from the Brumbies. It's Filiwai who scores it. And that is a great start to the second half for this Canberra side. I was going to watch along last night for the Sharks vs Edinburgh game, but I see it wasn't you. Who was it? Glad to see you back this morning. See Super Dad. It was Haino. He's done a few of the URC games for me. And yeah, always greatly appreciated when he's willing to pop in and fill in. We've got the two games of the URC tonight that I am going to be covering. The Stormers versus Glasgow, as well as the matchup taking place between the Lions and Connacht. And finally, a bit of pride, says Big Rig. And also, yes, good comeback. They needed it, says Ruth. How did Bangladesh beat New Zealand in the third ODI? Our batting is really that bad. In fact, we won't even reach semis this time in the 2027 World Cup final. Yeah, I think like Bangladesh just played better in that third matchup. They had Liton Das doing well with the bat. I believe it was that the game before. No, I think it was the third game, wasn't it? That Liton Das batted well, and then also the other fella did manage to top score. That's going to be a kick missed for Tane Edmed. That caps D side. Says bad to the bone. And Harding Hamish and everyone says studs raised, and the Brumbies needed that, true. But more than that, they want to win, says NZ Right. And currently it does cancel out the bonus point here for the Hurricanes. Separated currently by the 14 points. Running it forward, Rob Valentini. And first to score won't win tonight. First to score won't win tonight. So you're saying the Hurricanes are going to lose this Ando because of Fineanganofo getting the first try? That one's gone into touch. Lonergan, he's done all right with his clearing kicks, although he has also had that one that went dead. And Harding Hamish and everyone says studs raised. Welcome in. You are doing well. Raymond Tupu. He is going to be making his way off of the field, and that is for Asafua Moore. He does now make his way on. There was one time where a guy played music in his bathroom and started dancing. Right. And we need excitement in this game, says Ruth. And I feel like now that we've seen that one try there, I feel like it's going to start heating up that little bit more. Line out for the Hurricanes was successful. Asafua Moore. Passing that one back. Numio also making his way onto the field for Lawakai. One kicked up high. Tossi on for Mafaleo. Now, all that's going to be knocked on from Billy Proctor. Okay, he's going to lose. Says Annoyed Astronaut. And as Hamish says Anthony. Okay, so it's an accidental offside against Braden Yossi there. So it is actually going to be the quick tap for the Brumbies. That one's going to be kicked into touch by Tanya Med. It is now going to be the line-out for the Canes. Oh, is the referee in charge of this one's Paul Williams. Second half. Oh, okay, so the team who scores first in the second half isn't going to win, is what you're saying, rather than in general. What if they score again, though, the real Ando? Have they got any chance of a comeback for this Brumbies side? Hurricanes blowing away the Wild Horses. See it bad to the bone. Nice take. Now going away to the right-hand side. Nicely taken by Duplessis Karefi. Now moving it on. Callum Harkin. Nice offload there. We have got the complicated line-outs. Here's Cool Coyote, although now backline movement. It's a nice ball over the top to a Suff one more. Trying to chase him down was Tane Edmere. Grubber and behind Fineanganofo was the first one getting to it, but Lachlan Shaw manages to clean it up nicely. Now Roygard going up to the right-hand side now. Big shot from Rob Valentini, but the backline's still on. Josh Morby cutting inwards, couple metres out from the line. He just gets it down. And it will be try number 4 now for the Hurricanes. We have you there, by the way. You'll see is my number 8 for the ABs over Satiti. Says Cool Coyote there. For those two, Tyrone and Mark, pissed me off. They were bullying you, says Jaden. They have said nothing worse than what you have said on your alternative accounts, though, Jaden. So, like, you know, that's something. They were just giving a bit of advice. Yours is normally just abusive. We have got there, do not pull the horses, says Shane. We have got there, yes, says John. I have the Canes winger in my team, says Highlanders fan. Which one? I assume Fineanganofo, right? But Morby just managing to roll his way over the try line. He was initially looking like he was going to be held up, but then just does a little bit of a gator roll type of situation. And then just manages to slip his way around and get over. And Gaines going to thrash the Satyrs and Welly next week. And Karefi, 100 games. He seems a bit quiet. He's had a couple big tackles in that middle patch, but and also that turnover after giving away a penalty. But outside of that, Karefi hasn't had a lot of ball in hand. I think they do often go for that Yossi option. However, there, Fineanganofo appears to have recovered from his crush nut. Yeah, it might have just been speculation about that. Although he would have recovered from that quicker than a groin injury, I would think. Gator roll is different to a croc roll. Says studs raised little bit. Gator roll more of a wrestling terminology, isn't it? Whereas croc roll more so rugby breakdowns. But yeah, he kind of just twisted his body. Try and go into touch. Oh, that one's going to be dropped backwards. Yep, Tane Edmed trying to step his way through. Just smash back 4 beer funnel. That's a lot of beer in one funnel. Not tonight for the Brumbies. There's the real Ando there. Now Ryan Lonergan. Way to the right-hand side again. Now this one's going to be bouncing awkwardly. Hands in the ruck there for number 7. And also we've got the, I don't know who hurt you, but I hope things improve for you, little guy. Says Cape Tonian. It's quite a nice message, isn't it? It looks like Duplessis Karefi has stayed down for a little bit longer. And 24-5. Says NZ Riot. Yeah, Karefi's grimacing a little bit here. Looks like maybe even the jaw might be the problem. The bonus point currently in favour of this Hurricanes team. The Brumbies have scored themselves just the 1 try. And we have got there, oh God, the Brumbies need to pick the act up. Just for the sake of the game, says Cool Coyote. Now that one's going to be thrown in. Well done from this Brumbies side, but a knock on from Corey Toole. We have got there, Karefi should be considered a hooker, says Jared. He'd probably go all right there, to be fair. Is there a super team that can beat the ABs? Depends on other players in the All Blacks setup. Are they playing for their Super Rugby team? Or are they playing for the All Blacks in that case? We've got that fee. He had a hot dog and chips at halftime. He's fine. How much do you think he paid for the real Endo? That's the big question we've got at the moment. How much is the hot dog and chips at this new stadium? if anyone's watching at the stadium listening to me, can you please on your way out walk past the hot dog and chip section and let us know on the next live stream? Be greatly appreciated. This ball is going to be fed in now by Cam Roigard. Yet again, another scrum. Fihi, another hat trick. Sears Ruth. Now ball is going to go in. Possession currently 57% in favour of the Hurricanes. Braden Yossi going to the short side. Now looking for the steal there and can't quite get it, but the penalty will be awarded to the Brumbies there in the breakdown. Oh yes, says called Coyote. Ball carrier holding on. It was good work off of the bench from Toby McPherson. He's actually been playing quite a nice role. He's an impact player and bad to the bone. Bruce Springsteen. And doing for the All Blacks. Yeah, although, like someone mentioned, they'd have to leave him out of the Japanese World Cup squad, which will be a bit rough. And Ruben Love 10 or 15, mate, says Cody. And as at the second half already, it is currently sitting 54 minutes through in this contest. But in terms of love for the 10 or 15, I think for the All Blacks, 15 he's more likely to get a run. 10 possibly the one that he should look at long term. Nobody knows there's a real ando about the hot dog prices. I also want to know whether or not they're hot dogs on sticks or hot dogs in like buns. I think they're hot dogs in buns. I might just have to go to Christchurch myself to learn this information. Some big games still to come. A lot of New Zealand derbies around the corner. This one's thrown in, nicely taken. On away to the right-hand side, Tane Edmed moves it on to Tuilema. Now it looks like an accidental knock-on from Fineanganofo, but it is going to go against him. The advantage is now over, so just ruled as the knock-on. Warner Derns is maybe the best lock right now, or number one of the best. Or one of the best, sorry, says Cool Coyote. It was interesting, because last year I had a video idea that I never ended up doing, but it involved pretty much the guys who missed out on the Team of the Year, who I felt were the next best nominations. And I put Warner Derns in as the best lock at international level in terms of from that recent year, outside of the like locks who got selected in the first team. Like I chucked him in there straight away without hesitation. He had a brilliant Pacific Nations Cup for the Japanese. There's a boot that's been thrown away on the ground. Now Ryan Lonergan going back across to the right-hand side. Tuilema trying to get a bit of shuffling going. I mean, he has a second power lock like Fiti Sa when Tui Piloto gets injured, in my opinion. He may be a little soft at the moment. What other options do we have, says Tanner? At the Reds, Blues ends in a draw. Do we call it a purple? Says Big Rick. Probably not. You probably just, well, you get Super Point, wouldn't you? Which hopefully we do get to see. But you just never know. Now, ball is there for Ryan Lonergan. Oh, bit of a loose pass. So we're going to be available here for the Brumbies. Corey Toole. This is where if the Brumbies want any chance of coming back and winning this game, they pretty much need to score now. Within the next maybe about 3.5 minutes. Brumbies need some action now, otherwise it's over. Says Ruth. Now kicking this one in behind. Now bounce of the ball. That's going to be a knock on there. And now Cam Roigard running down the field. Kicks it in behind. There are going to be Brumbies players back. It is Corey Toole who's managed to clean this one up. He tries to step. He goes through. Couple more steps from him. Ryan Lonergan picks it up. They move to 40 metres out from the line. All you zombies, hide your faces, all you people in the street. Says bad to the bone. I assume those are song lyrics of some sort. Now bounce pass to Rob Valentini. Loose ball. Kicked forward by Fineanganofo. Becomes a foot race between him and Tane Edmed. It sits up for him. And he scores the try. Again, Coyote was ahead. But it's a great try for the Hurricanes here, which should almost secure themselves that bonus point. AI says $12, 15 for a Brazilian hot dog. What is that? I actually don't know what a Brazilian hot dog is. And what is up with the Brumbies? Says Cool Coyote and Night Night. Says, yeah, I underdog pick. Yeah, I'd say that is now the game. And Fineanganofo, not only has he got the first hat trick at the stadium, he's got the first forfeit. Now looking for a 5-wicket bag. If he gets himself another one coming up soon. When does his premiership contract start? Would New Zealand still take him to South Africa if they can? I don't think they can, though, but that man has been scoring for fun in his Super Rugby campaign. He had 711 metres carried heading into this round, 26 defenders beaten. I would say it's probably a lot higher than that now. 4 tries amazing, says Cody. And ICCAI underdog pick straight out in front of the post for Ruben Love here. And that one has gone over. Johnny Rover, he'll make his way on to the field. And also Peter Larkai going out there too. Massive loss to New Zealand Rugby, says Studs Rays. And really, this is the Brumbies game. They came with, on a special occasion, says Cool Coyote, and somersault finish to avoid crushing another nut, says Dunk. Googling Brazilian hot dog just seems to come up with a messy hot dog, says Big Rig. You think New Zealand Rugby will get Fehi to stay, or Cam for that matter? Nah, he's locked into his new contract. He might do a Josh Morby, which involved Josh leaving Montpellier early, but I think that they'll be pretty happy to lock him in at Newcastle for as long as they can, and they may even look to renew his contract if he plays like this over in the Prem. And damn, I just imagine a Fineanganofo and Caleb Clark double threat duo on both wings. God damn, what a waste of talent, says Tanner too. The Brumbies knew they need to take some risks to try and win. Didn't work out, says NZ Riot. Yeah, there's still 20 minutes remaining too here, and 33-5 down. Not a good-looking scoreline currently for the Aussie side. Definitely because if they had won this game, like I mentioned, it would have been a clean sweep for them up against New Zealand teams. But now it seems like they're trying to lose this game by the points differential that they beat all of those other teams combined with. Basilio Tosi offload there to Xavier Numia. Nice step there from him. In fact, he stepped around too. Big Rose, I was thinking the other Brazilian. Says the real Ando. Now going off to the left-hand side. Crush nuts and messy hot dogs. This is the best commentary, says Michael. And if he plays like this in Europe, he'll be getting a lot of offers from other clubs. Oh, nice step from Ruben Love. He pierces through after fending off Rory Scott. Had the man with him on the inside. Ruben Love, he tried to go to Roygaard, who wasn't expecting it, as he thought that Love was going to go himself. And to be fair, he has done quite a bit throughout this game, Love. That one has gone into touch off the kicker, Tane Edmed. That was almost the opportunity. It was the big fem from Ruben Love getting rid of Rory Scott. And then from there, just looking for that next option and didn't quite go into Roygaard's grasp. Now still 4 points or 4 tries in the lead here. You see Clayton Thorne, he is coming on for Ryan Lonergan for the final quarter of this game. Brumbies only managed 1 try, says Ruth, at this stage, but still time remaining. I don't think the Hurricanes are done scoring either yet, though. Cam Roygaard away to the right-hand side. Duplessis Karefi has gone through the hands of Peter Larkai. Kick forward by Pritchard. Oh, nice take. Oh, no, another mistake. Time was Ruben Love trying to go to Geordie Barrett, and it's another knock on. We over there, Hurricanes have a hive mind. And movers one, another drop ball, but it's gone backwards. Chance here for the Brumbies. Beautiful step from Lachlan Shaw. Ball on the inside. Toby McPherson, he gets over. And the Brumbies score themselves another one. Oh, well, when I said, like, the Brumbies only had 1 for now, I didn't realise it was going to be 15 seconds later that they managed to score themselves their next one. Yeah, just a bit heedless. The last bit. And bye-bye, Cool Coyote. See you later. Toby McPherson. It's just that nice offload there from Lockie Shaw. But now that bonus point is still in play as well, I should mention. It hasn't... Oh, hang on. Hang on, he might not have even grounded that. They may have to check this one, I would say. Like they've said, he's potentially grounded it on his own arm here. Oh, it looks like it's close to the line. That's very close. Very, very close. Okay, the last angle was less convincing. The TMO is going to be involved now. Give it to him. So here's Cool Coyote. On-field decision is try. Okay, they're checking to see whether or not it does touch line. AI says the hot dog and chips at Takaha, one New Zealand stadium, typically costs $22, $12 for the dog and $10 for the chips, based on NZ or RNZ and local press reports. Touch says Cool Coyote. That's pretty close. On field was try as well. There's no denying that after that grounding, it does go up. Or at least the attempted grounding. That's going to be a tricky one to be able to rule. Larkham beside himself says Cool Coyote. And chalked says the AI underdog. Rolls along his arm. I think this one's going to be ruled as no try here. Knock on goal line dropout. It's going to be the call. Right. It's going to be no try. Larkham does not look too happy about it. A love will breathe a sigh of relief. Says Michael. Yeah, well, it came from a good line break. It was actually the locks working together for the Brumbies. And like I said, they just haven't been able to get a clear enough image there. Kane's got out of jail there. Says Studs Race. If they're looking for a ball, they haven't got one at the moment. So one of the ball boys or girls will bring one out to Ruben Love. Michael is the type of play that from Love that the All Blacks coaches won't want to see. Now kicked off. Gray is on the field for Fineanganofo, so he won't be able to get himself the fifer in this game. But still, I think he'd take 4 in this contest. He alone has scored double the tries of anyone else or everyone else combined. Now drop ball. Warner Dearns kicks it in behind. Taken by Corey Toole, though. Low tackle made by Iritara Inari. Our home fans will be liking the scoreline. So here's NZ Riot. Back across to the right, Tane Edmed. Now back into the pocket. Edmed goes high. Warner Dearns was trying to get that charge down. Couldn't quite do so. Not taken cleanly by Gray. It's gone forward. So we are back into the knock-on stage of this contest by the looks of it. In fact, it's a free kick for accidental offside. Quick tap taken by Clayton Horn. Now Luke Reimer. 2-man tackle on him by Xavier Numia as well as Larkai. Now across. Thought about shoveling it on. Nice off though there to Pritchard. Now firing it out wide. Corey Toole with the grubber. It's a risky tactic and it sits up for Morby. Will now try and run this one back from his own goal line. Looks for the boot downfield and does just that. Well handled and very, you'd say, cool, calm and collected by Josh Morby there. It is now back into the 22 of the Brumbies. And Tom Wright has to kick it into touch. Okay, there the Brumbies are toast. And we have got their delayed comment. Go Morby. Nice save, says Cool Coyote. See, that's better timing, I would say, as a whole. But yeah, it just didn't make sense for Corey Toole to kick that ball the way that he did. It seemed like he was in a position where, like, he could have just tried to run that or look for that offload on the inside. Put the mirror down. Love says Napaya there. And also, hello, everybody, just waking up. And he says hello to Hamish. And also the lung buster. Says Dunk. Yeah, bit of tempo here. We can play for these two sides in the second half. There is now another advantage in play for the Hurricanes. Now looking to pass this one back, I guess. Isn't it wonderful to hear no Tossie slander from Jordan today? What a delight. So Leo Tossie is the GOAT. Says Tanner. And good call, true. Says Cool Coyote now going back for that penalty with 15 minutes remaining on the clock. Next game is taking place in around an hour's time. It's going to be the kickoff of that one. That will be the Blues taking on the Reds. We are going to be covering that one on the channel as well. Well, Luke Reimer, big smile on his face. Too much to do now for the Aussies. Cam Roygaard will make the All Blacks for the World Cup 2027. That kick has not gone dead from the Hurricanes. I thought that this corner was a little bit cursed in some regards. Yeah, just showing most tries in a season of all time. Fineanganofo is currently sitting very close to that record. He needs 3 more tries. And also we over there, oh, it's a try, Love. Says Shane. And also we over there, Love needs to cut out those flashy passes, says Dunk. Also for more. Throw this one in again. Nicely done by Warner Dunes to slap it back to Lakai. Now moving forward. Oh, forward roly-poly there. For a Suff one more. And there is the knock on now. We've had a lot of scrums in this game. Now we have there annoying taking off Roygaard. Says Cool Coyote there. And also we have there what a kick says Michael. They are just showing what is to come here. It will be the Blues versus the Reds. And glad to hear it, says Ruth. Looks like the crowd, they are loving it at the moment. There are a few Blues supporters in the stands as well as the Reds, by the looks of it too. There's the one taking place in the hour's time. And Kia ora, bros. Looking good, Kiwis. Says Moa Hunters. Yeah, currently a very one-sided affair between these two sides. Do you reckon Ruben Love has been improving? I think so. I think the fact that he's still such a young player too, he's got plenty of time to be able to develop and continue getting better. Oh, one of the ball boys, I think, getting knocked over there. Roly-poly says Super Dad. I remember when we had to do those in PE. They sucked. Definitely the backwards roly-poly. I can never work out where your head was supposed to go. I was going to make a joke about something else, but I didn't. I caught myself. Kia ora, Moa Hunters, says Matthew. Now, Eritara Inari going away to the right-hand side. Oh, bounce pass there to Duplessis Karefi. And feeling better now. Brumbies will struggle to get anything out of this game. Says Mark, yeah, the only real thing that they can get from this game is to stop the bonus point of the Hurricanes. But to do so, they will need to get themselves 2 tries within the next 12 minutes. Now, big, wide, cutout pass. Tell the dummy from Johnny Rova. Now back across. Vasilio Tossi, he runs over the top of his opposite in the scrum. Eritara Inari going now to Love. Warner Dunes, that was great replay there from the Brumbies, and they've managed to get the interception. Corey Toole, he will run the length of the field. What I was about to say is how well they were doing just beforehand in terms of that rushing up to try and put the pressure on the pass. And from doing so, it created the interception chance. And Corey Toole scores himself the try now. And we have got the nice hitting, says Ruth. And we have got the evening, Hamish. Appreciate the commentary, says Tommy Tan Gaming. No worries at all. Corey Toole managing to get that try, which was incredibly well done. Chiefs versus the Draw should be an interesting match tomorrow. And yeah, well, that one, with the fact that the Draw won away from home for their last game up against the Brumbies, I'm hoping they can make it competitive up against the Chiefs. I know that they come in as one of the biggest underdogs of the whole round. Although saying that, the Brumbies were considered close in this game. And go the Draw, it says Cool Coyote. And we have their game on well, kind of. Yeah, one more try for the Brumbies cancels out that bonus point. Tool makes everyone look like they're jogging, says Michael. And we've got there. Also, Brumbies Yahoo said the Brumbies are counter-attack and interception. Brad Shields. He makes his way onto the field. That is for Delaney. They might actually be playing him more as a locking option now, Shields. Later stages, that one's going to be put up high. And that is again going to be booted towards the touchline. Hurricanes will have themselves a line out. 10 minutes now remaining. And we have there some rewards for the Brumbies at last for the try. And a line out throw for Asafua Moore. Warner Dunes, he's been pretty successful in the lineouts, but this time they throw up Brad Shields. He's been able to win it as well. Come on the Canes, one more try, please. Says John. And going back across to the left-hand side, short ball there. Billy Proctor pops it up to Peter Larkai. Looking for the steal. Eritara Inari Going away to Brad Shields. And Brad Shields just sounds like an iconic name. Well, the thing is, the way he was playing last year, he could have almost been an AB's bolter. Or an AB's returner, I guess you should call him. In that case. So he had some really good moments throughout last year's Super Rugby, but of course there were plenty of other guys. But imagine Shields back in that number 6 jersey. It'd be a bit of an interesting one. I think it would be an unpopular choice in some regards because of the young guys coming up through the ranks. But if you want a bit of a hard number 6, probably not a bad choice. All right, 9 minutes left now. Another penalty awarded to the Hurricanes, and they put this one into touch. Fineanganofo, like they've said, he's probably getting man of the match. We have got there, greetings all. Any advice for a hectic Bubby Lars? I'm not actually sure what that is. But what is hectic about it, JG? Let me know. Bonus point would be nice. We have got there, Canes bringing on international isn't even fair, says Shane. Samoa throwing that one in nicely to Brad Shields. Looping around to Samoa. That looked close to a forward pass on the inside. Getting over the ball there for the Brumbies, but just losing the footing in the end. Now sitting about 7 metres out from the line. Now not too far from the try line again. Hurricanes looking to secure that bonus point. Basilio Tossi just a couple metres from the try line. Iritara Inari looking off to the right. Goes to Peter Lakai. He is 1 metre short. Iritara Inari searching for that ball. Skip pass out to Geordie Barrett. He's passed it into the knees of Tom Wright. And it seems like it's going to be play on. We have got there. Yep, come on the drawer. Says Moa. A penalty try coming at the weirdest call of the night, guys. Should be, says cool. Now back across here, Geordie Barrett. It just slipped out of his hands as he tried to make that pass. So I think that's going to be, since it was off the knee of the Brumbies player, I believe it would be the knock-on against the Canes, or at least the forward pass in that case. And I says Ruth, and it should be a good sunny day in Cape Town today for the Stormers game. Not like last weekend. I wouldn't have minded if the draw won. Or I wouldn't mind if the draw won. It would certainly help out this Canes side. They would create a bit more separation between them and the Chiefs, who are in second. Or they are currently in first, but will be in second after this one. How about you commentator half of the Warriors game after this game? Says, what's up, guys? After this game, we have got the Blues versus Reds, which is going to be taking place at 7:35. Now, chance here for Clayton Horn to feed the ball in. Cape Town is buzzing, sunshine and no wind here. Says Ruth. Okay, referee Paul Williams has just told off one of the players for looking over towards the sideline trying to get a penalty from the touch judge. It must be the rain making it slippy, but it's indoors. So I think it's just the way that they've watered it maybe does make it quite a slippery kind of surface. It'll be something that a lot of people will get used to. Commentate the Warriors before that game. But that game starts at 7:35. So when's the Warriors start? Are they 8 p.m, aren't they? Now, going away to the right-hand side. Ollie Satsford. Made his way off of the bench. Now Clayton Horn. Sorry, Clayton Thorne, I should say, rather than Horn. Hello, everyone. Says Annie, welcome in. Now it's stolen here by the Canes in the breakdown once more. Iritara Inari. Going back across to the left-hand side. Skip pass on the outside. Geordie Barrett. Well, that looked a little bit high from Luke Raymer. Cooker for the Warriors start at 7:30. No, 8. Yeah, so that one will directly overlap with the Blues versus Reds game. But now Proctor. Trying to cut back in. Iritara Inari tries to grub her on the short side. Chasing after it. And Morby scores. And it's nicely done. We got shot Inari. I don't think we've had one try you haven't said before it's actually happened throughout this one, Cool Coyote. I know you keep on apologising for it, but you've done it every single time. But Morby on the short side, Iritara Ineri just kicks it in behind. And Morby does nicely to be able to finish that one off. Just a well-weighted kick there too. Oh, big slamming finish from Morby. He's got himself the double. Puts up the fin as well. Now the way that it sits, there is still a chance. The Hurricanes can work their way towards that 40 plus. Definitely if Ruben Love does get this kick over. Oh, that's it for the Brumbies. Good win, Hurricanes. And Tumeki Canes. And up the Canes and Canes all day, says damn. And Love's cramping. Yeah, bad cramp there for Ruben Love. That kick has missed the way to the side, but he does let out a bit of a yelp. And he has gone down with this cramp. I don't know if they've got anyone left on the bench. No, they actually don't. So Love is going to have to try and get through this cramp. We have there black and yellow, says Shane, and Brumbies, if not careful, will lose its spot in the top 6. Area is underrated, in my opinion. He has an understanding time in the pass and a good long and short pass, says John. And the thing is, he's been at so many clubs, but he's always a guy that you can slightly, you chuck out there in any sort of game and he does all right. I'll update the scoreboard. There we go. Morby to score 2 more tries. 5 minutes. And we have got there then who gets player of the match. We have got there Hamish Bro Hooding asks why you aren't talking to him, bro. It is because he's the same guy who was spamming before. Luckily for me, as the YouTube, I guess, as the owner of the channel, I can see when they join the channel. I can see what account they use to join it, and it's the same guy. So he's being nice for now, but I didn't want to call him out because I knew that if I did, he'll start spamming, just like he did on the Discord when he called me the N-word 100 times. But it's nice that he's being friendly for now. So you're just being mean to him. Now, hopefully you listen to what I just said and let that one process. But it's the same guy as before. The one who changed his name to an inappropriate word that I can't say, that got timed out earlier on. The one who was spamming Bomber Club before as well. Hamish, you're doing great. Happy Saturday. Fair enough, bro, says Matthew. And we have got there the AI underdog pick. Yeah, they don't, I have more options as the channel owner. I can look and see which account is joining. So, I literally can see that it's the same guy every time. But now, scrum feed here for Clayton Thorne here. 2 minutes left now on the clock. Now going off to the right-hand side. Caden Pritchard shoveling it on. I'm about to go to the Warriors game anyway. Wait, so you wanted us to commentate a game that you were going to? You'll be able to see what happens live. You'll be ahead of us. You'll be able to see the action before we call it. But now, Ollie Satsford to be tackled there again. A nice step coming from Lachlan Lonergan. Hasn't been given a huge amount of game time throughout this contest. The Brumbies still looking to find themselves one more try. Got showtime from Cool Coyote. I assume that's yet again maybe another try. That would be spoiled for the 9th time of this game. Billy Proctor with the offload. Now kicking it in behind. It's Johnny Gray chasing after this one. Awkward bouncing ball. Looks like Gray is going to be ready to pick it up and offload it to a soft one more. Another one to Morby. Now running it down to the right-hand side. Passed out wide to Johnny Rover who cuts in, and it is the try. Again, another one spoiled. This is fun. We have got there as well. Canes opened up a bit of a lead on at the top of the table now, says Dunk. And we have got there as well, Stockholm, says Ruth. The Canes front row have had a great game tonight. Well done, says John. And Canes playing with so much freedom, says Studs Race. Yeah, they're doing extremely well in terms of just broken play. They find their way out wide, and Josh Morby has had a very strong game. And Morby was so close, says Michael. Yeah, although the try assist goes to Morby in that case. And we have got there, love you, Hamish, great commentary as usual, says Moa Hunters. And I was okay, mate, can't please everyone, says Shane in there too. And can the Canes get one more try? I don't know about one more. They're into the 40s though. Sitting 43 points to 12. And that is the full-time siren, in fact. So no more tries for the Canes. Ruben Love tries to get that one and just sneaks it over. The end score of this contest, 45 points to 12 in favour of this Hurricanes team. A very big game in that regard. Now we have the embarrassing loss to the Brumbies, says Cool Coyote. And my score prediction wasn't too far off, says Matthew. Yeah, that's true. This game, unfortunately, it's no longer, like, it wasn't as close as it was supposed to be. Poor effort from Pritchard, says Duncan there. Yeah, we're going to see it now. Hurricanes go right back to number 1 on the standings. It puts a little bit of pressure on the Chiefs for their game coming up. I see 45-14, so just that one missed kick earlier on in the contest stopped it from being bang on. Now we have to get there full time. Thanks, Hamish. See you later. There's quite the bounce back after the close loss to the Chiefs last week. And standout stats and defenders beaten. Everything else relatively even. Says Mark. And also we got a lot of crying in the chat tonight. Don't forget to smile. Says Real Ando. Duplessis Karefi. Right, man of the match, I think it's pretty safe to say it's Fineanganofo in that case. And dare I dare one-sided? Yeah. Which is a shame. Because I thought that it was going to be closer. In that regard, you can report bullying on YouTube, says Jason. I remember when you said back in the day when you were annoyed with us that you had reported the channel, Jason. And then you came back and you said, oh, we're all good, we're all friendly now. But, yeah, interesting times. We have got 19-0 first half, 26-12 second half. That's dominance, says Michael. We have getting congratulations, Canes. Thank you, Hamish. Says John. I'm disappointed in the Brumbies tonight as a Canes supporter. Poor old Larkham, says Cool Coyote. And also Ham, says Dunk. And there too. So the next game, it is going to be taking place in around about probably 38 minutes or so. I would say is when that one's going to be coming up. Fihi, the try-scoring monster, says Matthew. Yeah, a lot of tries going Fihi Fineangaofo's way throughout this contest. 4 in total. He is now only 2 away from being the most tries scored in a whole Super Rugby season, or at least tied with that. Fihi, man of the match, Hamish, says Ruth. Yeah, I think that one was probably deserved. I would say for Fihi Fineanganofo, with the fact that he was able to get himself the first hat-trick at this new stadium. Where's the PlayStation 1? Says Blondie. And we have got there Fihi for Prez, says Shane. And also we have got there Fihi the try-scoring monster. And there too. But Billy Proctor is just showing some of his highlights throughout this game as well. 7 defenders beaten though for Fihi Fineanganofo. Meters carried 62. Love played excellent, but you can't take it away from the four try scorer. Yeah, exactly. They actually mentioned that near the end of the game. And yeah, we did see in the end that, like, Ruben Love, he didn't do well. He had a couple offloads here and there. We have there. Thanks, Hamish, for your awesome commentary. You're the man, says Matthew. Reported, says Hooding, and there as well. I do have a question for you, Hooding. Seeing as you're not spamming currently, we're going to get a little bit deep here for the second. But what is your, like, overall goal in terms of creating 50 accounts and spamming and whatnot? Like, are you hoping that I'm going to snap and start yelling at you? Or is it that you hope I go, oh, you know what, he's being annoying, I'm going to stop doing YouTube? Like, what is the actual outcome? Because you spend a lot of hours here doing the same thing over and over. And I think a lot of people are starting to feel a little bit sorry for you about it as well. Because you saw earlier on when you joined, people were happy to engage with you. They were happy to say hello, how are you, and whatnot. But, like, you keep getting yourself banned for doing stupid stuff. So, like, what is your overall goal? Are you hoping that we're going to just go, you know what, I'm sick of hooding, I'm gonna leave? Entertainment, I think, says Big Rig. But it's not really entertaining. Like, it was all right during the time where he was trying to be funny, but now he's just not doing anything of excitement. I don't want to rap, bro, says Blondie there, and cheers, Hamish, says Michael. And also, the only winning move is not to play, says Big Rig. And just testing, that's crazy, bro, says Blondie NZ. And Sport Billy Geordie Invisible. Oh, Billy Proctor I saw quite a bit of throughout this contest, I do have to say. Like, I think that he did a lot better than maybe, like, he had some good, I think he had maybe 2 or 3 assists throughout there. Full time says Resurrect, it is indeed. Sitting there, 45-12 at the end. Very kind of good. Thank you. He might be 12. I think he is, which is why you also can't completely go in on him, because then, you know, you don't really want to, like, take the piss out of a child online. You got to slightly control yourself. Sometimes when a wing's on fire, the centre is quiet. Says Zach Cray there. And bye-bye Hooding. Says Matthew there. Bro got reported. So is your goal for my channel to disappear, Hooding? Because then what would you do with your spare time? Because there's a lot of it. Yes, over the years, there have been some young ones commenting, says Robert. Yeah, which is why you kind of want to, like we try and keep it PG on these ones. Hooding, are you Kiwi Rob's brother by any chance? Says Jason. And we have got 5-7 from Blondie, and then he changed it to 6-7. Proctor was fine, says Shane. He had a solid enough game, I thought. But yeah, next game taking place at around 25 minutes time. Ladies and gents, that one is going to be the one taking place between the Reds and the Blues. So, of course, be sure to tune in for that. We have got the Udi, come on, it's not cricket. Well, the sad thing is, I think we picked him up from the cricket. Hooding needs to be banned. Yeah, but we banned that account. He makes another one like 2 seconds later. What does my main account tell me? Well, you had account for a while. Like, I assume you want some popularity or some sort of attention. Is that why you want to know? And Team Fortress 2 Rugby Match says Big Rig. Yeah, just doing the trophy presentation here as well, ladies and gents, before this next game gets underway. Nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got there, what does my main account tell me? Tell you what, if you unblock me on Discord, even though you're the one who called me the M-word 100 times, I'll let you know what your main channel was. We have got there, don't argue with chat, just focus on the rugby, bro. Thanks for your commentary, says Wade. And he's stamping his foot now. Yeah, he's getting angry, isn't he? It's a shame to see. And guys, did we lose 4-0 to Bangladesh? No. 2-1 was the loss in the ODIs. I don't know what's happened in the T20s. I think there might be one taking place at the moment. But nonetheless, thank you all for watching. We will see you all for that Reds versus Blues one taking place in 30 minutes.